Right now, we welcome Art Jetter back to the program, the official evil insurance man of the Good Morning Show, past president of the National Health Underwriters Association, on the latest that's going on with Obamacare. Art, good morning. Welcome back.
Good morning.
Joining us this morning from Texas. Process or analyze, if you will, Art, from your professional perspective, what the president said the other day, Thursday, relative to saying to insurance companies now, you know what? I'm not going to hold you to that deal. Let people have the plan they had before. What does this do to the insurance industry?
Well, this is one of those moments when I'm happy to say I'm not an actuary, a pricing actuary, or an executive at an insurance company, because or an insurance regulator, because all of those parties are it's like an earthquake hitting. You've priced for all these things. You've redesigned all your programs. Everything was laid out I shouldn't say everything was laid out. Most of what you had to do was pretty obvious, and all the insurance companies headed in that direction. Now, if they're going to adopt what the president said and move on in that direction, that is going to be an incredible task to change everything for that. Each carrier is going to have to make its own decision what it's going to do. And I will tell you this, despite what anybody says, the insurance industry being the most highly regulated industry in the land, as far as I can figure, is going to do everything it can to obey the law. And now the question is, what is the law?
Yeah, that's right, because this is not a law. This is a suggestion.
Well, how can you change the law, and who's liable if you change things and it's not in compliance with the law? Are you liable down the road? The legal issues here are unending. Art, talk about the overall impact that this change may have financially on the insurance industry. If you look at the trend, which is 29,000 people have signed up on the federal exchange, about 100,000 people have signed up through the state exchanges. Virtually all of them are old, poor, sick people. Talk about the impact financially in 2014 on the insurance industry and what that could mean in 2015 and 16.
Well, I'd have to tell you that there are a number of things here that are important, but the Affordable Care Act really changed the math, how insurance companies calculate what they charge, especially for individuals and small employer groups. And they're going to have to take into account whatever they do, the health insurance tax, the durable medical equipment taxes, the variety of things that are priced into the model because of the Affordable Care Act, most notably the minimum loss ratio. And this, the whole minimum loss ratio thing changes the perspective from how can I charge a low enough premium and stay in the business so that my premium will be more competitive than my competitors, to the new how do I charge enough not to lose any money. In fact, almost incentivizes insurance companies to want to have to pay a dividend at the end of the year, which requires a higher premium. And that would go into even the grandfathered plans, as far as I understand it, that everybody's going to have to comport to those kinds of rules. I think in the long run, with regards to the financial impact on insurance companies, the main concern is going to be that if they were to have two sets of programs forever, it's going to be very difficult for them to comply with the Minimum Loss Ratio Act and stay in business.
Yeah. This is what some of the insurance executives were speaking about last week, and that is you can't have competing programs. You can't have one set of insurance policies beholding to one law and another set of policies not. Otherwise, eventually everybody goes out of business, and we do have the single-payer system.
Well, there's a lot of people that don't understand that insurance is relatively a simple formula. Insurance companies have to bring in enough money in premium to pay all the claims that go out. Some people equate insurance and magic to be in the same kind of part of the dictionary.
Same column, but it's not. Yeah.
It's not. No.
Just this question, Art, relative to what will perhaps happen soon or decisions that are being made. Let's take Blue Cross Blue Shield of Nebraska, for example, because they're, I think, the largest one in Nebraska, and that's the one we got all the feedback about people getting cancellation letters. Yeah, if they decide now, based on what the president said, okay, we'll go back to those people we sent cancellation letters to, and we'll say, okay, here's your policy the way it was before. That would just be for a year, right? I mean, that's in itself is kind of a trick bag, I would think, for Blue Cross, because they're like, okay, we're going to do this for a year, then we got to go back to what Obamacare law says. I can't imagine they'll do that.
Well, of course, Gary, I don't speak for Blue Cross.
Right,
but
I understand.
I can say that a lot of companies that I think that they'll do the right thing. We just don't know what that is.
Yeah.
I think a lot of companies that sold policies in the last year, those will carry over into next year. So as long as that happens, there's some argument that could be made that, well, might as well carry all of these over.
The only problem. Go ahead, Art.
Well, I'm going to tell you that there are policies available in the exchange, and there are policies available outside the exchange. And I think anybody that's thinking about what they're about to do, whether they're a small employer or an individual, or even a large group, they really need the advice of a licensed health insurance agent. Each situation is going to be dramatically different, and these tax credits are not going to apply to all of the people. In fact, a lot of people who even maybe could get a tax credit in the individual exchange are going to find out it's still less expensive outside the exchange to buy maybe the same or better plan. So I think it's important that people know that they should go to an agent to investigate that. If they go to the exchange, they're going to have to enter in all their personal information and actually apply to see what kind of deal they're going to get. And once they do that, they've kind of
compromised
their die, and they got to, that's right. Well, it's not only compromised everything, but now they're a customer of the exchange, and the exchange navigators and application assisters cannot tell you what's available outside of the exchange.
Wow. Unbelievable. Great stuff, Arthur. Thank you. Always good to have you on. Appreciate you taking the time.
Well, good to talk to you guys.
You bet. Art Jetter here. It's 8:30.
Scott Voorhees, Jim Rose, Lucy Chapman, and Roger Olson. It's Gary Saddlemeyer and the 1110 KFAB Good Morning Show.